And we live. Salute. Welcome to the Talk Different episode. I don't know what the fuck number it is, but it is like what, May 17th, right? That part is right though, right? It is May 17th. May 17th, 16th, 18th. One of them motherfuckers, you dig? It's one of them. So, kind of what we're going to be doing or what we're going to be talking about today is Olivia Dope, who is a DJ, pretty good DJ, by the way. She was part of Joe Budden's secondary podcast, part of his podcast network. She, resigned. And in resigning, she, had some grievances about some situations that took place in the environment at the workplace. We don't go over it. Some people might not like my opinion, but I'm going to approach it from the standpoint of just the vibe that I get from it. And we will hear from her. Audio only. Audio only. I'm learning, y'all. I'm learning my lesson. Audio only. No visual, audio only. All right. We also will be talking about this ongoing situation between Tommy Sotomayor. Hey, Capo. Tommy Sotomayor and I guess his issues with Kevin Samuel. I'm not aware of Samuel saying anything in return, so I only can approach it from one end. And amongst other things. But besides that, I hope everybody is good. We good over here. Also, we'll be dropping a video upload maybe tonight. No later than tomorrow morning. For my hip hop heads, that's just a trip down memory lane about the firm shit. Now, before we absolutely get into the show, I do want to address one thing. And this video is probably a couple of weeks old by now. But for those who was around and those who seen that video, I released a video that had a lot to do with a Cap interview with a battle rapper named Kaboom, who claims that he won a battle against Rock, and the footage was rigged, all this other shit. I presented evidence that it wasn't. Since then, and I'm just finding out that it was, I received some emails. It was comments underneath or whatever, saying that I'm biased just because I'm from Maryland or whatever. Anybody that has visited this channel over the last year or 2 years know I typically don't even talk about Tay-Rock because of that. But this particular subject really had nothing to do with my opinion. I just presented the facts. So to whoever those people are, if you would have absolutely watched the entire presentation, you would have known that the evidence showed on its own. I didn't really have to say too much. Now, with that being said, let's get this motherfucking thing started. But do me a favor before you walk in my house, take your shoes off, dust your feet off, sit back and enjoy the ride. And remember to take some of these good vibes around to some of these other content creators. You know what I mean? And always remember, some of these stories you might have heard before, but you ain't heard them told like this. And we be right back. Let's drop this motherfucking intro.
In one way or the other, I'm a bad brother. Word.
Generation X Radio with your host, Street Knowledge.
1,000 deaths. A soldier dies but once. Dies but once. Dies but once.
They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a man who needs no introduction. And what you see is what you get. They call it street knowledge. You're watching Street Knowledge live.
Boy, you know, boy, you about to get busy with it right now.
And we back. So shout out to who's the content creator that did this. The name of the channel is Dot Connections, where they kind of edited and put the timestamps in of the events that she said happened on air, along with her audio in the audio from those particular shows. Right. So I don't want nobody to think that I'm taking anything out or doing anything like that. I just think that it would make more sense if what she said saying is given context. That way, and I'm gonna say the name of the channel again in case people want to go and look for themselves. The name of the channel is called Dot Connections. Just in case you don't want to go and look at the original video and watch about an hour or 2 hours just to get to the part where she says these things transpired. Now I'm going to play this audio. In between, of course, I'll give my typical commentary of what I believe and what I think. That's 100% only my opinion, just my opinion. Doesn't mean that it's right, doesn't mean that it's fact. It's just where I'm coming from when it comes to this particular situation. So, and again, the name of the channel is Dot Connections, and you will be hearing. I think it starts with Olivia Pope and then goes into the actual show, and then her saying what happened and how she felt about what happened, and so on and so on, and it happens throughout the clip. The way that he put it together is about 13 minutes and 3 seconds. So let's get into it.
Olivia, I see you guys have your private group chat. But Olivia has never reached out to me privately or personally or just us two to ever speak about anything. See, for me, when y'all have your private group chat and y'all get together, it should be like I imagine it to be like a filtering system. Like for y'all to get together, whatever y'all need to get together, anything y'all need my assistance for, any one of you can reach out.
And Mandy
Bridget,
usually
you
does.
have reached out twice. The first time it was very important. The second time was Clubhouse stuff. I don't care. I don't care. Sorry. Mandy, we talk a lot.
Too much.
We talk a lot. So what do you want me to do? But you're unique because we probably should speak more.
13 minutes and 48 seconds. Joe calls me out by saying, I've never reached out to him privately or personally. This information is important to this entire scenario because...
Hold on, I'm going to stop it right there. Right? Was that a call out, though? I mean, again, he starts it with saying, you girls got your group chat, addressing all of them, saying that he believed they should speak more. One of them, he says, she reached out twice. One was an important reason. The other one was some Clubhouse shit. The other one, he says, we talk probably a little bit too much, and then he goes to her. But see, perception is reality, because I don't want to take away how she might have felt. I am just putting it in context along with what I'm hearing being said and what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? But let's go on. And I'm going to go back just a little bit just so nobody miss anything. So let's go back and hear it again.
Olivia, I see you guys have your private group chat. But Olivia has never reached out to me privately or personally or just us two to ever speak about anything. See, for me, when y'all have your private group chat and y'all get together, it should be like I imagine it to be like a filtering system. Like for y'all to get together, whatever y'all need to get together, anything y'all need my assistance for, any one of you can reach out.
Mandy
Bridget,
usually
you
does.
have reached out twice. The first time it was very important. The second time was Clubhouse stuff. I don't care. I don't care. Sorry. Mandy, we talk a lot.
Too much.
We talk a lot. So what do you want me to do? But you're unique because we probably should speak more.
13 minutes and 48 seconds. Joe calls me out by saying I've never reached out to him privately or personally. This information is important to this entire.
I'm gonna stop it again right there at that part. Am I wrong for thinking that that wasn't a call out and him saying we should speak more? I'm understanding why he's saying that because of the music connection. She's a DJ. He used to rap. I don't know if that's a call out. I'm not sure. Maybe she took it that way because I understand that those things happen. Sometimes we internalize certain things, especially if we're the focal point and we haven't done something that everybody else has done, and somebody is saying that off the bat. What's up, Rain? What's going on, Smiles? Salute, welcome. I'm not sure. I'm gonna let it continue, but I'm not sure if that's a call out. I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I don't want to make it seem like that I'm just like pushing her feelings to the side of being numb to it. I'm just putting it in the context of how I'm seeing it, my perspective. You know what I mean?
Scenario because it proves my lack of familiarity with this person. And that is what makes everything that transpired after that so uncomfortable. At 14 minutes, 34 seconds, there's an edit in the recording because Joe says him and I should speak more because, quote, he's been wanting to fuck me since we've met. Everyone in the studio, including production staff, laughed uncomfortably while one of my co-hosts confirmed that to be true.
We probably should speak more because we had the least dialogue.
Right.
So I don't know. I never know. I don't know your triggers. I don't know what makes you feel. I don't know what makes you not feel.
And I like that.
By default,
I like people not knowing.
By default, I'm
That's
made of like
mechanism.
stone.
It is a defense mechanism.
But we have our...
Now, I'm not going to say that a edit didn't take place because clearly you can tell that an edit took place. But from looking at the body language in the room, it does. And I'll explain why I just said that after the next thing, because something is going to happen and somebody is going to speak up. And I would think that if that happened earlier, this same person would have spoke up. It's the only reason why I'm saying this part. Only reason why. Now I'm going to let it continue.
As a black woman in business, that has to be my defense mechanism. And for me to not speak to you, I'm a watcher. I observe my situations, my surroundings, and that's how I learn.
But so both of y'all out here just observing? It's 5 versus 5?
Well, what I'm saying is, this is when the therapist would say that our defense mechanisms...
5 versus 5.
Yeah, that's how we do.
Our defense mechanisms are working against each other. And it
100%.
It shouldn't be that way because we're the same team. And that normal instinctuality that you have as a black woman in the workplace shouldn't exist when you're working with a black man.
Gotcha.
So that should be put to the side just a little bit, is all I'm saying. I try to make myself available for you guys.
At 21 minutes, 30 seconds, Joe tells me to hit a button, bitch, because
it just sounds like, and after you, it just sounds like, and the reason why I'm playing this, and shout out to Doc Connection, salute to you, homie, for doing the lead work, so I didn't have to do it, editing and putting all this together, because I went and found the timestamps myself before I even heard this. And the reason why it's important to have context or something, and again, this is not to take away from how she felt, but that first initial thing where she said that Joe said that he been wanting to whatever with her in front of everybody. What was said later on, if that was said, it doesn't match anything else that was said after the fact, because it was still about the group and also about making her comfortable, if that makes sense. I don't know, but we're gonna continue. I'm just saying, and again, this ain't to take nothing away from her feelings, because perception is a motherfucker.
hit a sound effect fast enough.
Side.
Yo, but why don't y'all take a minute to just talk about how great the Girl, I guess trailer was.
Here you go. It was good.
What? Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Wrap it up. Yes.
Come on, hit a button, bitch.
Call me a bitch. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You can't do that. You have a dick. You can't say bitch.
I hate Joe.
Yo, I hate it here.
To be honest, what you posted,
I hate it here.
today,
He can't tell whether it's a joke or not.
Joe, but you can't call a woman a bitch. Only we can call each other bitches.
That is.
Now you see how in that instant, Shorty, the other one, spoke up for the DJ, but that's not even the important part in this. It's important only pertaining to the first half. Now you see how she explained what happened compared to what we just heard. What we just heard sound nothing like what she explained was going to happen. What's good, Handler? What's good with you? Sound doesn't remotely sound the same. It doesn't mean that it wasn't a reality to her. But if anyone, maybe I'm hearing this shit wrong. Maybe y'all can tell me, like, Street, you wildin'. That shit, I see where she coming from. I don't know. But listening to that, the way that she said it, now she says that he says, hit a button, bitch, because I didn't hit a sound effect fast enough. Made it sound exactly like that. Like, what the fuck you doing? Why you ain't hit a button, bitch? That's how she made it sound. Jokingly, in the process of him saying, how about that trailer? That trailer was dope. Hee ha ha ha. Playing around. Similar shit to what he says the fuck on his programming. Even though this wasn't the environment for that. He has to know better than that. But in context, it wasn't malicious in the way that she said it. If that's making sense to y'all. It wasn't malicious. So if you don't hear this audio and you just heard her say, let's go back, and you just heard her say, he says, because I didn't hit a sound effect fast enough, hit a button, bitch. You're thinking of this totally different if you don't hear the audio. And this is not me taking up for Joe. Joe was totally wrong. He was totally out of line. You're sitting there doing content with 3 women. You have to know that it's certain things that you can't say, especially if you don't have a personal relationship with one of them. You know, the other 2 kind of understood. They know you. She don't. She took that, even though she sat there, she laughed and she joked along with everybody else. Clearly, she felt some type of way about this. Let's go back just a little bit. Let's go back just a little bit. I don't want to go back too far.
Hit a button, bitch.
Hold on, let's go back.
Because
I want y'all to hear how she said he said it.
Yo, instinctuality that you have as a black woman in the workplace shouldn't exist when you're working with a
I
black
went back
man.
too far. My bad.
So that
should be a safe
that
space.
should be put to the side just a little bit. Is all I'm saying. I try to make myself available for you guys.
At 21 minutes 30 seconds, Joe tells me to hit a button, bitch, because I didn't hit a sound effect fast enough.
Now, see how she said it, right? And Rain, you absolutely right. The vibe of what they was doing comes across like everybody was comfortable, but clearly she wasn't. And clearly she took this totally as disrespect, and she should have, right? Let's just say that she probably should have. But the way that she explained it or articulated it is not the way that it sounded. So the way that she heard it the exact way that she told us, hit a button, bitch. He didn't say it that way. He didn't even say it in a way to where he felt like you were supposed to hit a sound effect. He didn't even say it like you was late hitting a sound effect or you were supposed to do it. He just said it because that's what he would have said on the Joe Budden podcast. Again, he shouldn't have said it. Got to know better than that, especially with a platform that size. You have to know better than that. Period. You got to know better than that. But again, after hearing it in context, if you just heard her explain it without the actual audio, it sounds a lot different. It feels a lot different. You know what I mean? But let's continue. Let's move on. I don't want to spend too much time on it.
Yo, but why don't y'all take a minute to just talk about how great the girl, I guess, trailer was?
Here you go.
It was good.
What? Come on.
Yes,
Come
clap it
on.
up. Yes.
Come on,
Yes, yes.
hit a button, bitch.
Call me a bitch. What the fuck, motherfucker?
You can't do that. You have a dick. You can't say bitch.
I hate Joe.
Yo, I hate it here.
To be honest, what you posted,
I
what you
hate it
posted
here.
today,
He can't tell. You can't tell whether it's a joke or not.
Joe,
That's
but you
why.
can't call a woman a bitch. Only we can call each other bitches. That is the rules. Like even Steph, you know that.
Savon is like, nope. Savon can't
You're
do
not
anything.
being saved.
That's
Great.
not true.
What is not true?
That's not the game.
What
game?
The goalpost is moved in the use the bitch word game.
Only if you're coming out as gay, Joe.
The goalpost is
Are you
moved.
coming out as gay?
Where's
No,
the goal? Where is
See,
the
that's not what I'm saying.
No.
See, that's not
No,
what I'm
no.
saying.
Now, see, hold on. Again, Joe had no business saying the shit, but something else was also said in that to, insult or fire back or cause friction or whatever it may be, because that's something that happens frequently whenever it's a disagreement with some men and some women. One of the first things that people go to on either side, men say the bitch word, women go to homosexuality. So from that point on, let's see if the climate changed, because evidently the climate didn't change after he said in front of a room full of people, I've been wanting to fuck you since I met you, which was allegedly edited out. Let's just say that. So the vibe didn't change after that was supposedly said in front of a room full of people, even though I wouldn't be surprised if it was said. It probably was said. I don't know if it was said in a room full of people. I think it was implied. And the reason why I think it was implied is because I think it was told to one of the other women in the room. So I think it was implied. And I'll say later why I think it was implied. And fully. Just so this shit won't take too long. But let's carry on.
A man cannot say bitch to a woman on some bitch unless there's a flip of your wrist.
I say.
What do you say, Joe? Where's the goalpost?
That's not true.
Should have left it alone.
Women change how the bitch is coming out. That was a very friendly gay bitch.
Gay as in happy gay.
That was a very, very friendly and gay bitch. Never to be distorted as malicious or evil by
delicious.
people
I know
who know the vibes.
We know the vibes.
Now,
we all know the vibes.
I'm not just gonna walk out
He
here.
called me bitch. I'm gonna call him a motherfucker.
Hey,
Is
see,
that
No,
easy?
you know, you gotta say puss ass nigga. You gotta
No.
be disrespectful.
No, that's
Bitch is disrespectful.
yo, let me tell y'all who Joe is.
Damn. Like, God. But I guess this is fair. But that, okay. I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to let it finish playing. My bad. I fucked up.
Whenever the mics,
pussy ass what?
Pussy ass nigga.
when the mics are on and when the cameras are on, call me whatever you want.
Okay.
At 24 minutes and 54 seconds, Joe makes a comment that I am throwing my singleness in his face, and he thought we were going to be a network power couple. And once again, I'm trying to laugh all of this off. As it's transpiring, I reply by saying, sorry, Joe, we're not.
This is probably why I'm single as fuck. Cause like,
No.
I don't feel like
singleness. Wow, that's crazy. I thought we were about to be a network power couple.
no, we're not. Sorry,
No.
sorry, Joseph, we're not.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell, right? It's hard to tell whether or not that was said jokingly or he absolutely meant it. You know, the whole job of being a content creator is to try to entertain within the realm of being as respectful as you can and stand true to yourself somewhat, right? I have done plenty of shows with women. Me and Capo have plenty of content together. Me and Jenny have about maybe 12, 13 episodes of Fine Ice podcast. It's certain things I stay away from personally just as a man and how I view those women, the respect that I have for those women that I do content with. Even the women who I speak to frequently that's in my chat. With that being said, again, Joe has to know better because you put everything together of what she is saying. It's looking some type of way, even if that's not what it is. You know what I mean? Even if that's not what it is, it looks that way. Hold on for 1 minute, y'all. What the fuck? That just really made me mad just now. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Personal shit. But anyway, um, Joe is a anybody that know anything about movies, television, writing in general. You have a protagonist and you have an antagonist. Everything is predicated off of those two roles. Nothing works without that. Even if it's not a physical adversary in a movie, then life becomes that adversary, right? Even within doing this form of entertainment, podcasting, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? You have those same elements, right? Those same elements, if two people or multiple people are doing shows together, it's always smart for one person to be the person that's going to say the things to rub people the wrong way, whether it be the audience or whether it be the people that's around them. Not to disagree just to disagree, but to keep the temperature up. If we all are agreeing or if we all are whatever, what type of entertainment is that? You know what I mean? And again, none of this is to defend Joe. It's only one to use this for anybody, men, women, children, dog, cat, I don't give a fuck who it is, as a lesson to when it comes to dealing with people that you might not be too familiar with in any type of setting, especially when it can interfere with your own livelihood. Hey, pretty, when it can interfere with your own livelihood. And I'm going to keep saying this. I'm not saying that how she feels about these circumstances are not genuine. In her mind, these things happened the way that she told it, because this is how it made her feel. That doesn't mean that it was 100% malicious. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that it was that. Now, I would be hard pressed to see and very anxious to see if the other people that was around in these circumstances, what they have to say about these same events. There was plenty of people around in this room. It's the four people that you see on camera, Savon, and plenty of people in the back that was there. So there's a total of about 15 people there, not including the cameraman and the sound guy. So I'm pretty sure eventually somebody else will speak, but I'm going to let this go in and continue to play if I end up getting myself in trouble.
But this is why probably my mom sing. I feel like I shouldn't have
Michael
to
B.
tell
and
you.
Lori,
Yeah, that part.
Oh my
I
God.
shouldn't.
Take that, Michael B. and Lori.
Oh my God. Joe is giving Marcus from Boomerang vibes. And yeah.
At 25 minutes and 42 seconds, I make a comment about relationships in general within the conversation. Joe retorts that my shirt that I was wearing isn't buttoned like I'm single. Excuse me. I have to repeat that. My shirt that I'm wearing isn't buttoned like I'm single. I pause, cover my chest with my hand, and try to brush it off once again and continue the conversation.
Hey.
You don't want to deal with this shit, do you?
She's Angela. She's Angela from Boomerang.
That shirt ain't button like she said.
Liv is Angela from Boomerang, for the record.
At 31 minutes.
Again, Joe, you gotta know you can't say shit like that. But even though I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is that supposed to, I'm confused. And ladies, please help me out, because I'm a man here, so I don't understand certain shit. I just don't. So I'm trying. I'm trying really hard to understand. I'm really trying to understand. Right. And it's not to say that a lot of shit that we do or say was we were supposed to. from the time and the era and the place that we come from. It's not to say that those things is appropriate, but he said, your shirt is not buttoned up like you're single. And that's what he says. And then she covers up her shirt. But I would think somebody that's single would dress different than somebody that's in a relationship, right? Like, ain't that the thing? Ain't that what people say? You know what I mean? Like, I'm confused on I could see if he would have said, I could have see if he would have said, yeah, the way that shirt, the way you wearing that shirt, you single. You definitely single. See, I don't know Joe. I don't know Joe. I only know me, and I only know some motherfuckers that's like me, right? When men say certain shit, it's in the way that we say certain shit. I know y'all women like know this. It's a way that we say shit. Even the goofy niggas, even the playful niggas, even the asshole niggas. I could probably be classified as a few of those motherfuckers, right? But I don't know. I'm like confused. I don't hear, and maybe because I'm listening with man ears, right? So I don't hear what she's feeling. And believe me, before I got up here, I watched her shit. I watched the fucking show. And then shout out to Dot Connections because they edited all this shit together. Shout out to them. Because the whole shit is long as fuck. And they edited this shit down to like 13. You know what I mean? Which made it a lot easier for me. I was trying to find something in there outside of what was supposedly edited out with but that's, again, all that shit is inappropriate at the workplace, but for they do on air, I'm trying to figure out, what's up, T History? I'm trying to figure out if a whole bunch of shit happened off air, and these are things that's just used as a template of an explanation of, to point to say, see, this is what I can show you of some of the things that was said on air. Then it probably would make a little more sense to me, but right now I don't hear it. And I know we in a different time and different space, and it's things that we probably never should have been able to say. I don't fucking know. All that shit makes my head hurt. The shit sounds fucking complicated. I don't fucking know. Right? I'm just gonna let this shit play. I'm confused. Like I'm just asking y'all to, help me out with this one, because I am fucking confused. I really am. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not playing about this shit. Like, I'm really confused because I believe she feels some type of way about this. Like, I don't think this about getting a bag or none of that shit. I don't think it has nothing to do with any of that. And I could be wrong about that, but I'm going off of looking at her, the way that she sound. It sounds like she generally really feels some type of way. And this could come from past trauma, right? We carry around baggage with us, and she could have been through some things. And how I can tell she been through some things is how and what she said at the beginning of this whole shit. Because that's just how I examine conversations, right? At the beginning of this whole shit, when Joe talking about him being accessible to them and them having their group chat, and how, they should feel comfortable communicating with him, and she hasn't yet. The first thing that she goes to is, I have to protect myself and my space being a black woman in business. That leads to, she more than likely been through some shit, some advances, whatever it may be. She went through something or something, you know what I mean? And by doing that, you constantly got your guard up. It's no different than if you sitting at a table with a group of people, right? You're sitting at a table with a group of people, and two of the people just start whispering for no fucking reason at all. No reason at all. They just go. Automatically, you and whoever else at that table self-consciously is going to think that they're talking about you. It's just something that I think this shit is rude as fuck. I don't like that shit. I don't never really pay it no mind. I don't give a fuck about it. I don't do that shit. I would rather just holler at the person later. But I don't like that whispering shit. But self-consciously, the first thing that you think is they talking about you. And if nothing is never said, if they never end up saying, or one coming over to you and saying, hey, what's up, Philly Brewer? If one don't end up coming over to you saying, yeah, you see, forever at that table, you're going to believe that they was talking about you. You're going to leave whatever place you was at, whatever event you was at, feeling some type of way about those two people, even though you don't know what the fuck they was talking about. You have no fucking idea. And y'all probably like, Street, what the fuck does that have to do with this situation? It's the perception. It's the perception. Nothing can change that. No matter whether or not Joe meant it however he meant it, doesn't matter. She felt how she felt about it. I'm just trying to understand the fucking how as I'm listening to this shit. I just don't get it. But let's go on.
It's 42 seconds to about 35 minutes and change. Joe makes me feel like I'm in a hostile work environment by letting my co-host know that I am carrying the group because they don't dress sexy enough. Because now not only am I embarrassed for myself in being objectified, but also you're making other women that I have to work with on a regular basis uncomfortable by telling them they don't dress sexy enough. Like I said, this transpired while recording, in front of cameras, and in front of the entire production staff.
I both have on our cargo pants today.
Right.
We're definitely giving Destiny's Child survival.
Liv came in.
But Olivia carries
and Liv-
us through you guys' auntie moments.
This
Really?
isn't
First of all,
One day y'all want somebody else to
what we
fuck
not
y'all.
going to do.
I gave titties last week.
What we not going to do is call Joe Fresh Goods auntie attire, because Joe Fresh Goods, the black-owned company, and I'm supporting him today by wearing his shit. It's MLK Day. We are buying black. We are wearing black. We are being black, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, these are Jordans.
Fast forward to
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there. Right, I totally get it, right? But I don't think it was that. I don't get him attempting to be alpha male in the room. I don't even get him trying to be dominant in the room. I don't even get him being overly aggressive in the room. I don't get Joe on Joe Budden podcast with them. What I get him trying to do is bring the element of himself from his show to add to theirs. When you're combining with somebody else as a content creator, you try your best, especially when you used to doing whatever you do whether it be by yourself or with somebody else, and you do that with different people, you try to fill that out. Like you can't fake chemistry. You just can't. You can't fake the shit. Either you got it or you don't got the shit with the people that you're choosing to work with. That's just what happens. And what it sounded like to me, what Joe was attempting to do was draw out some sort of conflict or reaction. He's trying to have a conversation on air that would be entertaining. So I'm going to say these things to get a response. If y'all seen the way the ladies was dressed, you can tell that part of that was being facetious. One of the biggest problems with our people is we don't understand sarcasm, facetiousness, or satire. We don't understand those things. Motherfuckers see satire and think it's true. I see it all the fucking time. It's a fucking satire post to be on Facebook, and a motherfucker do a whole video about a satire post on fucking YouTube. Like it was absolute fact. Somebody could be being facetious in their content, and somebody would take that shit like they meant exactly what they said, which is like the weirdest shit. Now, again, I don't know none of these people. I'm just trying to have the ear that everybody else has had that has heard this. And I don't hear the shit. I don't hear none of this shit that everybody has said, from the shit that the Breakfast Club said, to the shit that regular people are saying, to the shit that people saying on Facebook, to the shit people saying on TikTok. A motherfuckers talking about canceling Joe. I don't give a fuck whether they cancel him or not. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I'm trying to understand just as a man. I'm just trying to understand just as a man. I am trying to figure out what the fuck happened. That's it. I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck happened, because I'm hearing two different things. I'm hearing the way that she explains it, and then hearing what happened, and it sounds like two different things happened. And maybe because I'm listening with man ears. You know what I mean? So him and being in that role of where you decide that I'm going to start whatever this venture he is on with this podcast network shit, and he adds this show, which is doing very good. I haven't watched it because I don't think it's for men. Even though they're very beautiful ladies, I just don't think their subject matter is for me. So I haven't watched it. You know, I know some people that watch it. I just haven't watched it, right? But I think within that role, and I think one of the reasons why he went there, and I know he probably regretting that right now, is because of what just happened with his co-hosts, Roy and Maul. Because of that debacle, as a leader, I think he thought to himself, maybe I should go over here and try to build a relationship with these ladies and open communication with these ladies so this doesn't happen again. 'Cause sometimes in a leadership position, people don't all the time understand certain decisions. People don't, and in that situation with them is something different. I ain't had a chance to speak on it. I feel how I feel about that particular situation, which is not really a knock at Roy and Maul, but what you can't do is wait until something is successful to then start, but whatever. But I think part of that issue with that situation led him to come over here to have a conversation with these ladies to try to to build some sort of rapport on air and off air. I only say that, one, because of the way that it started, the way the conversation started about them communicating more, all of them communicating with him more. Because when you go through something like that, you build something with two people for all those years, and that goes left. Regardless of what he might say on air, you start evaluating yourself. You started thinking, how can you do things differently, which leads to this decision. Within that decision was Joe attempting to be Joe around three ladies, two in which knows him and one who has never communicated with him before, on air or off air, outside of getting the job. So in the process of that, I don't think she knew how to handle some of the things that he was saying, because a mother fucking Star has said, and this ain't to condone none of that shit. I don't even think Joe it would be classified as a shock jock. That like Star is a shock jock. Star told Nadeska that he wanted to jack off on her leg inside her shoe on air. That's shock jock shit. That's shocking shit. Nothing Joe said on that, even though it might have been inappropriate to say bitch. That might have been inappropriate. If he said what they said he said that was edited out, that would be inappropriate, but nothing is shocking. It's him attempting to be a man with three women and try to say the things that he think men are thinking, which is different from somebody like Star. And they made Star apologize to Nadeska and all that shit, and she was uncomfortable working with him and all that shit. But they knew exactly what they was hiring. When Complex hired Star, they knew exactly what they was getting. Period. So I didn't look at that, even though that's not me condoning what he said. He was dead wrong for what he said, but they knew this is what he does. He said something similar before he was even hired with Complex. On his own fucking channel, he said something similar about her. He just said he wanted to do it in her hair, on her back, or some shit. Some crazy ass shit like that he said. And then he said this shit in her face. But y'all hired him knowing this what he does. And then after he did it, then y'all wanted to say something about it. That made absolutely no sense. Nobody should ever get fired for doing that job. Nobody. I felt the same way. And if I was a content creator back then, a lot of people probably would have disagreed with me back then. But when Don Imus said that dumb shit about those college girls and he called them nappy headed hoes, he shouldn't have been fired. He said worse shit. And he gets fired for this. He gets fired for doing his job. He was a fucking shock jock. That was his job. He said all kinds of fucked up shit, all kinds of racial shit that he said, talking about Bill Clinton, like in black women with big asses. He saw Bill Clinton in a club looking at a black girl's ass like she was from slavery chained to some dumbass shit like that. He said he didn't get fired for that shit. He didn't get fired for that, but we took away endorsements, did all this shit for this shit because it made national news. But he was doing shit like that for fucking 20 years. And we ain't even supposed to be listening to that shit. Most people ain't even know who the fuck Don Imus was until that shit came on. Till that shit happened. Nobody was we ain't supposed to listen to that shit. But back to this shit. I'm just baffled as a motherfucker. I'm gonna let this shit keep playing because I'm still fucking confused. I'm still waiting.
2 hours, 16 minutes, and 3 seconds into the show, Joe returns and he mentions us and just giving us our accolades as we've been doing good thus far. This scene is edited once again because, let me rephrase that. Go back. He goes down the line to give everyone their accolades. He starts with Mandy. He goes to Bridget. And then once he gets to me, the scene is edited again because he says, Olivia is unique because I want to fuck Olivia and the fans love her. That scene is edited out. Those words are edited out. But what's left there is me widening my eyes in shock and embarrassment because after he asked if I was okay and he said he would come back to lighten the mood, I didn't think he would once again reference to wanting to have sex with me. At 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 5 seconds in the timestamp, Joe asked if he can give me an on-air hug. My co-host said yes, they insist, and I slowly get up to hug him. Still apprehensive, I give him a hug somewhat of a distance to kind of hug, no pelvis there. It's unbeknownst to me until I actually watch back the episode that he was moving his hips while he was hugging me. I laugh uncomfortably because I don't know what else to do at that point. It's nervous laughter at this point. Everyone else is like kind of chuckling and I sit back down, and at 2 minutes, 17 seconds, and I'm trying to like just get all of this out because at 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 38 seconds, after I sit down after the on-air hug, I grab the microphone and I say, this is uncomfortable. That's pretty much the end of the episode that was recorded.
We got a fresh energy.
Bro, I can't stand him.
We got a really fresh energy with Olivia.
She's been a DJ for a decade.
So
all right.
So that's hate.
No.
I called her fresh. You called her vintage. That's hey. You know what? I'm gonna get out of here, man.
My God.
Joe Budden Podcast every Wednesday and Saturday.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, again, I do want to thank you because, like I said, this is for anyone wanting to come over to Death Row Records, the Joe Budden Network. This has been a
The
great
list is
experience.
closed.
Oh, look.
Let's go get an on-air hug from Olivia.
Yes.
Y'all need to talk more. Come on, network. Bye.
Look at this family. Look at this family affair.
I love it.
I love the choice of music on the way out too.
Seriously. He tells me every week, y'all all right, but Liv, that's the one. All right.
It ain't just me, it's the fans too.
The fans too. No, for sure. We read the comments every week.
We love you
We
guys.
do. But we love y'all. We love to hate y'all. I do want to say, I don't think I gave enough shout outs this week.
Oh my God.
We love y'all. We love to hate y'all. We love y'all. We love to hate y'all. We love y'all. We love to hate.
I didn't see no humping or grinding and hug shit. Because some of the stuff that she was saying was edited out. It's hard to evaluate the rest of it. Now, I will say this. It would appear to me that the reason why she was saying this is uncomfortable, this is what it would feel like, is because of what Joe said at the ending, saying that she was the one because the fans love her. So I think in her mind, I think this is a lot of different things. I think She 100% felt however she felt about what Joe said. Whether or not he said the things that she said he said, that was edited out, we would never know unless one of the people who was there speak up. But I think because of him being the boss, saying the things that he was saying, and Joe being who he is, and we all know, especially when it comes to Joe's creations, Joe is a very good creator. He's just never able to hold on to his creations for his own doing. He always kills his own creations. That's just always been Joe. Since his rap career till now, this is just what Joe has done. I think because of those words, it made her uncomfortable. And I think she felt like in her mind that this is going to turn them against me. If he's feeling this way, and this is evident how the audience feel. And I even went back and I looked through the chat, and he definitely wasn't exaggerating about that. Even the other two girls said that. Evidently, she's everybody's favorite on the show. So that wasn't a lie, but I guess the fact of saying that to them. But I think with the other two, because of his relationship with the other two, that was like a joke to them. I don't think he really meant it in that way, or he could have, but I don't think he meant it to cause division. But you have to know better as a leader. You have to know better. This is the reason why I don't. And this is the first time in my career, and I've been managing people for shit over 15 years. This is the first time that I have managed men and women, and I literally don't even I don't it's certain things I don't do, I don't say. It's certain things I don't allow to be said around me, just because I don't want nobody saying shit, and I don't want nobody taking nothing the wrong way. So in the process, I treat everybody the same. So I'm not saying it like I treat them any different than anybody else. I just watch what I say, how I say it, and what's said around me, no matter who's saying it, man or woman. I don't give a fuck. Certain shit I just don't want said around me, because I don't want nobody saying all this other shit. Because that's the shit that you got to be careful of. You never know how somebody might take something, how somebody might perceive something that you say that you might think is innocent, even if you're joking with somebody that you have a relationship with outside of work. You know what I mean? You can't do that at work around people that's not that familiar with you. When you're in a position of power, you can't do that. You can't move that way. It's not helpful for your career. And in this climate, especially in this climate. And now this is the first time we have ever heard anything like this from Joe. Now we have heard of him putting his hands on somebody before. Anybody that saw the court transcripts, everybody know what happened during that situation. But this situation, and I'm pretty sure that I would be surprised if somebody else doesn't say anything. I would be very, very surprised, because quietly over the last 3 months, Joe would probably be the 50th person in entertainment or sports of my that's a minority that's been accused of something like this. The football player accused of something similar with his assistant, but way different than something like this. You gotta be mindful, especially when you're building what he's building. This is not 20, 25, 30 years ago anymore. And the shit shouldn't have been said back then. But the crazy shit is this. And I'm going to try to find the best way to say this. The crazy shit is things can be openly said to a man in a position of power. Can be openly said. And believe me, I am speaking from experience. Can be openly said. And even well, and what are you going to do about it? And that's the part where the part that nobody talks about. And that's the side that makes people feel comfortable to do shit and say shit like that. Because you have people that openly say shit that they probably shouldn't say to somebody that's in a position of power for whatever reason they saying it for. Whether it's because they're attracted to the person, whether it's not because they believe that doing whatever can get them somewhere. But again, that's why I stay the fuck away. Not to say that, you know what I mean, because I had never managed women before, and I come from an environment that, doing sanitation and then doing environmental for all those years, it's not a lot of women in the workplace. And most of the women that do environmental work, most of them are behind the wheel. They either equipment operators or they truck drivers. Most of them are not really out on the field, on the ground, listening to somebody like me. And even in the office, outside the accounting and LGM, there's only 2 women that was in the office, even once I got in the office. So I never really had those issues until now. Now is quite different. But over the last it's been 4 years now. Over the last 4 years, I have been able to still be me, manage the way that I manage, and manage those things at the same time, because it can, believe me, it's a difference. It's a difference. It's a big difference. But he has to know better, and I don't know what's going to come out of that, because that's just about the gist of what she said. People heard and saw whatever they saw and got whatever they got from it, and I respect all those opinions. I'm still confused. I'm still confused. But like I said, it's not to say that she didn't feel any of those things and she didn't feel some type of way about any of that shit. But again, the extreme is a motherfucker like Star. And what Joe was doing, I don't know. He got no better. But anyway, moving on, that's that. I guess we'll see where that go, where I don't think it's really not going to go anywhere unless she ended up filing a lawsuit. I mean, she left the podcast. I'm pretty sure that that's going to affect the show. that particular show. That's going to affect them even replacing her on the show. It might even affect the two people that's still there, because all of those women that was involved in that podcast was cool. They was friends. So who knows what comes out of that situation as it goes on. But that's that. We shall see, right? My personal opinion, I still don't know. I have no idea. I defer to y'all. If y'all ladies say it was some weird shit, some fuck shit there, then it was. Me and my man ears and man instinct, I ain't see it. You know what I mean? But moving on. As most of y'all probably seen or have saw or been aware of, the cat, what's his name, the funny looking dude, Kevin Samuel, that speaks to, I don't know what to call what he do, the type of content that he does, talking to black women about relationships and their standards and all that shit. He has an issue. I guess another YouTuber has an issue with him, and that would be Tommy Sotomayor. The only reason why I'm speaking about this today is because something caught my attention. Saw a clip or somewhat of a clip from Tommy of him talking about a video, I guess, that Kevin Samuel did, and he was talking or whatever, and I guess a guy was leaving. I guess he was in a restaurant while he was doing the commentary or whatever, and a gentleman was leaving out of the door, and Kevin Samuel says something like or something like that. So it's implied that he was doing that directed at the male who was leaving, because I guess the whole object of the commentary was to say that dude is homosexual or whatever, which I could give a fuck. I don't know why that's relevant. But a caller called in and they voiced their opinion about the situation. Now, before I get to what their opinion was about, because they was kind of accurate about the opinion about the situation. A lot of times when somebody doesn't care for somebody, they see and hear whatever they want to hear. Like, somebody can literally tell you something. I have watched this shit. I've been in, because I don't have a disdain or dislike for this person and that person. A lot of shit I don't really give a fuck about that much. You know what I mean? But in watching this shit, what I notice is a content creator can literally say one thing to an audience, right? And you could watch that shit and see nothing of what they said, but the audience will see exactly what they said, because they have that same disdain for whoever that person is, the same way as the channel holder do. And none of that shit is accurate. It's just you want to see it. You see it that way because you've been told to see it that way. Shit just works like that. The human mind is fucking weird that way. I can say some fuck shit right now and show you some video and make you see the way I want to see it. But anyway, long story short, the caller says something about clout chasing. Tommy immediately, gets mad and frustrated and say, y'all can't say that anytime I go after a channel holder that's bigger than me. Y'all can't say that is clout chasing. Nah, bro. You don't get to do that now. See, you motherfuckers don't get to do that now. Y'all do not get to do that shit, because that's been y'all protection this whole entire time. Whenever anybody who so-called quote has less views than you or whatever than you, then it's always about clout. It's just not about the opinion. It's not the opinion. It's not the fucking opinion. It's because they want the fucking clout, not realizing that most of the time, for most of the people, not all of them, because some of this shit is about fucking clout, but most of the time it's the opinion. But that's the shield y'all all hide behind. Every last one of y'all. And the weird shit is, it doesn't matter about how much the person is bigger than the other person. That's what the fuck they go to. It's clout. That's not even what the fuck clout is. None of you motherfuckers would have a platform without talking about the other one. So, in a sense, that's all the fuck you motherfuckers do. It's clout chase. But you don't get to hide behind, you don't get to use that as a no, you can't say that now, then you can't never say that shit again. Ever. When, to be honest, and it's okay if this is what it is. And I'm going to keep it funky because I ain't like nobody gonna see this shit anyway. I'm going to keep it funky. Part of what it is, and homie would never admit to it, is part of it gotta be, part of it gotta fuck with you, homie. If you ever see this, and you probably won't ever see this, but if you do, part of this shit, just be honest with yourself. You ain't gotta be honest with me or your people. No content creator owes that to no fucking body, and people need to stop that too. All these motherfuckers lie. All these motherfuckers make up shit. This fucking fairy tale land. Motherfuckers gotta stop thinking that these motherfuckers owe the truth to any fucking body. They don't. They don't. Just stop. Just stop. But anyway. But be honest with yourself. You know, a part of you feels some type of way because somebody using some of the shit that you have been saying for so long, and they made it a focal point of content. They focused it just on women, and their demographic that watch them is women. A lot of women, black women, white women, all types of women watch dude. But he has been able to get in spaces that you haven't. He has achieved a form of success that you hadn't. Now, instead of running around saying that he took whatever from you and he's a fan or whatever the fuck it is, what you probably should be doing is thinking to yourself, the same shit that you say about the people around here and what they do to you, you're doing to him. Same shit. You're doing the same shit. So what you should have been trying to do is find out how the fuck did he do that? See, that's where you motherfuckers fuck up at. And see, you ain't no different than any fucking body else. You motherfuckers act like y'all are, but you're not. You're really not. You're the same. You're the same. Instead of you taking it as flattery, oh, okay. Yeah. All right, dude emailed me, did this, and he watched me, and he learned from me. You know, it's a lot of motherfuckers talk like that. I'm gonna keep it funky with everybody here. It's a lot of people that talk like that ain't never seen you, that don't even know you fucking exist, and that's just a fact. But it's a lot of motherfuckers who think like that. It just is. But back to what I was saying, and you can sit there and say, "No, it's not done." I'm not talking about jealousy per se. But you have to be thinking to yourself, how the fuck did he get on Joe Budden podcast? How did he get on the Breakfast Club? Now, I've been trying to get on the Breakfast Club for fucking years. They wouldn't even let me in the building. So don't act like that shit didn't matter to you, else you wouldn't have never went there in the first place. You know what that look would have did for your channel and your career. You know that. So let's just keep it a buck. So instead of trying to tear the man down, which that's another person who looked like us being successful, whether you agree with the shit or not, whether you think he took from you or not, your contribution was that. And you think he ever going to want to have a conversation with you? Even if he did have an aberration with you? Got to be thinking to yourself, maybe I should have answered some of them emails if that is accurate. Got to be thinking that shit to yourself. Or just leave this shit alone. If you're going to, like you tell people to do with you, hold it to having an opinion about the shit the person say. What does that man personal life have to do with shit? Doesn't have nothing to do with anything. But that's what people go to when they don't have shit to say about the content itself. They go to the personal shit. They go to the gay shit. You're doing the same shit the dude that everybody has done to you. So after all this shit, you can't complain about that shit no more. No different than any fucking body else. Get the fuck out of here. Let that man live. That man not gonna climb down and fucking entertain you. It's not gonna happen. Might as well hang that shit up. It looked crazy. It looks crazy. You know what I mean? And within that same clip that I saw, the part that looked even more crazy when the caller was trying to tell you, when the caller was saying, hey man, I don't think he was saying that to the dude. I think he was saying that because he thought the guy was getting put out of the restaurant. And if you watch that particular footage, how you know that it was something like that, because he turns the camera around and he later gets up and go talk to the young lady at the door, because I think that's what he thought. That's all dude was saying. Screamed on dude, did all that shit. But then after dude explained it, you got quiet because you knew it made sense after watching it again. Like that shit just look crazy, and you supposed to be logical. You supposed to move off of logic, but see, when you becoming emotional about shit, it's no logic inside emotion. Can't be logical and emotional at the same time. It doesn't work. It doesn't exist. So that shit just look crazy. Look crazy. It's no different than these motherfuckers you got trying to breathe life into their channels, beefing with women. Same shit. Put all you motherfuckers in the same fucking boat. I had that same venomous, same whatever for fucking man. The only thing that's breathing life into that fucking platform is that person is entertaining your bitch ass. I ain't talking about Tommy no more. I'm done with that shit. I said what I had to say about that shit. That was what it was. You know what I mean? That shit just look weird. That shit look weak. You know what I mean? Hold it to the information. If that's what you're going to do, if you're going to go after somebody, go after the information. But it's hard to go after the information because it's similar to the shit that you say when dealing with relationships between black men and women. So it's hard to go after the information. You can't go after the information. So the only thing that you can do is go after his personal life, which is corny as fuck. Just my 5 cents. Now, moving on to motherfuckers breathing. They channels on life support, using women to try to breathe life back into their channel by beefing with them, disrespecting them, doing whatever. I get it. It's part of the game. I get all that shit. I just don't fuck with you. Let's just keep it funky. I just don't fuck with you. I think you the corniest motherfucker on YouTube. And that's saying something. I think you the corniest motherfucker on this shit here. This shit is sad for a motherfucker to be that old and be that fucking corny. And just look like you making fun of motherfuckers that come from that shit and live that shit. It just sound like you fucking putting on a fucking act. Sound like you on one of them fucking old blaxploitation movies and shit when you talk. Like, the fuck out of here. Fucking weird ass nigga. That shit is weird. And people gravitate towards shit like that. Like, that shit weird. And just say something about them fucking people. Is a sucker. Fucking weird. And motherfucker. That motherfucker. This is weird. I ain't trying to be funny. Just voicing my opinion. Like that shit is on life support over there. Talked all that shit. This shit sected. You walk around with your chest stuck out. All that shit. The fuck out of here. Shit ain't never been nobody's. Know how big this shit is. Know how big the fuck YouTube is. You motherfuckers is delusional as fuck. Like y'all really, really believe that y'all be putting a dent in shit. When you got motherfuckers over there and that other shit, they got like 600, 700 motherfuckers in they chat. Like, what are you talking about? Nah. All us motherfuckers around here is small in the grand scheme of things when it comes to this shit. It's just some a bigger asset to this sector because people find the fuck shit entertaining. And most of that shit is the motherfuckers that don't like you. Watch. I choose not to. Unless I see a clip here and there. Right now, I ain't gonna front. I think that shit is hilarious when the motherfucker at that motherfucking kitchen table and he got that 16th up in him. Motherfucker funny. I can't even front. Other than that, that shit is, I don't know what the fuck. It just sound like an old, I ain't gonna say that. Nah, it just sound like an old, somebody grandma. You know what I mean? It sound like fucking Miss Alice up the street. That's always calling the police and shit and looking out the window. You know how, I don't know where y'all respectfully live at, right? But in Baltimore, like East Baltimore to be exact, when you first walk into a row home, it's something called a vestibule, which is like a little teeny hallway when you first enter the door. And then it's typically like a hallway. And to your left would be what would be classified as the front room, family room, whatever you want to call it. And when I was a kid, those rooms, nobody was ever allowed in. Nobody sat in there but fucking grandma. And the motherfuckers would sit at that window and just be looking out the fucking window. Just be looking out the fucking window. Now, back then, they ain't call no police, do no shit like that. Cause even the old people went by certain types of code and shit. They ain't calling police and shit. But them motherfuckers was telling on you. They didn't call your fucking mother or make a scene and get you the fucking trouble. That's what the fuck you sound. You one of them motherfuckers. Like the fuck out of here. Corny ass, fake life having, try to motherfuckers get on here and sell a bunch of dreams to motherfuckers and make themselves seem like they this or that. And ain't no different than the same motherfuckers you putting down. And that's why you go out your way to put people like that down, because it reminds you of who the fuck you are. Why would you give a fuck that much about what the fuck somebody else is doing or wherever they fucking lining up? Gives a fuck. Doing women shit. I'm been consistent with that since I've been here. That's the shit that I never understood. I will never get that. I don't get it. I refuse to get it. I don't see why any man, and that's what any of you motherfuckers, I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't care. So the fuck what? I don't care. Why would any man choose to play the same way or engage the same way that the women do? But you motherfuckers have no choice, because that so-called sector is predicated off the fucking women. So if you can't compete with them, you don't have shit. But y'all shouldn't even be doing what the fuck they doing. That's the point that I'm trying to fucking make. But now, y'all kind of, fucking with the big dogs. Y'all even going to fucking stand up or lay down. That's it, but that motherfucker, that is just corny to me. I don't know. I ain't get that shit. That shit just got worse. Like, People don't realize, like, I used to be over there. Like, that's the shit. Like, most of y'all probably know that by now, but I used to be over there. I tried to kick it with the old motherfucker. I tried that shit. But I can't, anything that, and this with anybody, anything that interferes with my stance as a man, I can't fuck with. Like, I tried to understand the shit within having those conversations, but I'm not the type of motherfucker that's just going to sit around and a motherfucker say shit that don't sound right, and I send the chat like, yeah, go ahead, right on. Tell him. I'm not doing that shit. Corny. Fuck out of here. That's corny shit. I don't want nobody to do that shit to me. If a motherfucker don't agree with what I say, I'm cool with that shit. I want a bunch of motherfuckers just saying, yeah, go street, yeah. Street is always right. Yeah, everybody else just hating. Yeah, that's you motherfuckers' answers for every fucking thing. It's everybody is hating. Get the fuck out of here. How about the fuck we just notice the bullshit? That's it. We just noticed the bullshit. I tell y'all one motherfucking thing. I miss my peoples, man. I really do. I ain't gonna say a name because that shit like saying the Candyman name. She fuck around, pop up some fucking way. But I miss my peoples though, for real. This sector missed that shit. It ain't been the same since the homie been gone, for real. You know what I mean? Since the pack ain't been around. It's been the same. People should put some respect on their name. You know what I mean? They said a lot of trends around here. A lot of trends around here. They made a lot of shit popular. A lot of terminologies popular. A lot of shit was stolen. That's still being used till this day. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. But in closing, I'm gonna end it. Most of this in part gonna be cut out anyway. I'm keep it to the Joe shit. This shit was only supposed to be an hour. But in closing, what I learned today is that I don't fucking know what the fuck Shorty heard, or I don't know. I don't know. I tried to understand it, but I don't know. And I was trying to learn it so I can be better, just as a man, and being aware of things that I might believe that I'm saying some type of way. You know, even in doing this, somebody could take something that I say the wrong way. And I never set out to intentionally offend or hurt anybody. I do say things that might spark conversation, spark a thought, or even agitate somebody. That is intentional. You know what I mean? Those things are intentional. Any content creator, that's part of your job. You ain't doing your job if you haven't at least done that much, a few of those things. You know what I mean? But other than that, just in general, try not to do anything malicious or intentional. You know what I mean? I take pride in this shit. Because as y'all know, I come from doing internet radio. And so I'm used to talking to air. So half the time I'm barely paying attention to the chat. I'm getting better at that shit now. So I see y'all here and there. But most of the time I'm not looking at this shit. Because when you're doing fucking radio, you don't even know how many people will watch your shit until the end of the week. You don't know. This shit don't even matter. And through email with internet radio. But that part of this was me trying to gain some understanding about that shit, and I still ain't got shit from it. But with that being said, salute to y'all. I appreciate everybody for coming out and joining us for this episode. We're gonna see where this thing go. Probably not gonna touch on it again. Like I said, either tonight or sometime tomorrow, for my hip hop heads on all 3 platforms. The Firm, the rise and fall of the Firm, will be dropping. I'm just about done. Just about done. Well, it's done. There's just a couple of more editings to go. I just that's what I've been working on. I went from one project. I know I was supposed to drop Hip Hop versus America a while ago, which is done. It's just not. I didn't think timing is everything with certain shit, and I think I missed the window to drop it, but it will still drop sometime this year. But the Firm, the rise and fall of the Firm will drop. I'm actually a little proud of that one. I'm like really proud of that one. I enjoyed doing that one. Probably because it was the fucking Firm, but I enjoyed that one. But salute, I appreciate everybody that came through, everybody that stopped by, everybody that stayed, everybody that participated. Y'all already know what it is, and I'll catch y'all next time. I'll probably be back tomorrow. Me and Dice got something cooking and brewing that I think everybody would definitely enjoy once we get things figured out and get our times right. But we got something that's going to be streamed from both platforms, so it don't matter who show you at, you're still going to see both of us. But we working it out, we figuring it out. But I think y'all going to enjoy it. But I'll catch y'all sometime this week, hopefully tomorrow. All right, we out of here. Peace.
In one way or the other, I'm a bad brother. Word.
You're watching Generation X Radio with your host, Street Knowledge.
What I see today when you talk like a fucking punk, Q. Fuck you, man. Yo, chill. No, fuck chill. Check yourself, Q. You gotta snap some collars and let them motherfuckers know you there to take them out anytime you feel like it. You gotta get the ground beneath your feet, partner. Get the wind behind your back and go out in the blaze if you got to. Otherwise, you ain't shit. You might as well be dead your damn self. Trying to tell me I ain't shit.